Welcome to another episode. Today is the 28th of June, 2026. Today we're in Venice, and I'm with Tiarrah Marjani.
Tiarrah Marjani, yeah.
Tiarrah Marjani. Hey, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, I know you mostly as a painter. Are there other mediums that you work in?
Yeah. This is cool because I don't think I ever confidently professed this, but yeah, I'm a painter, I'm a jeweler, I'm an amateur craftsman, craftswoman.
Yeah.
You know, I just do anything that inspires me. Like if I want to do some work with some grass, I'll figure out whatever grass work, and I'll call it something. Yeah, nice. But I think primarily a painter as far as this chapter of my life. Yeah. Oh, seamstress.
Seamstress?
That's always one of the major ones too.
Did you teach yourself how to sew?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, my grandma taught us when we were little.
Sweet.
And then I took a sewing class in high school, but I already knew the stuff, So.
Yeah, so it's easy?
Yeah. I guess I was grandma taught instead of self-taught.
Nice. Yeah. So you've been out in Venice, you're telling me for about a year?
About a year, yeah.
Where were you before you were in Venice?
Before I was in Venice, I was in Riverside.
Okay.
I was in Riverside, then I went to East LA, and then I went back to Riverside, and then I came to Venice. Yeah.
Was East LA not working for you?
No, because I was there under some crazy conditions.
Yeah.
I was trying to make it work, and I was living in this this studio with 5 men. It was just a lot. That is enough that I have to say, it was just wild. And there was a reason why I was there spiritually, I think, that really was teaching me something, but I learned that lesson fast.
I feel like when it comes to certain circumstances or things that pop up, I try to keep that sort of perspective in mind. It's what is life trying to show me right now?
Yeah.
Or how is it talking to me?
Yeah.
And do you ever wonder sometimes, it's am I just making bad choices, or is it really this is something that I genuinely need to know?
Oh no. Yeah. Well, yes, I have definitely wondered that, but I don't let my thoughts kind of go that direction anymore, because right now I'm specifically working on giving myself grace, because for majority of my life I beat myself up with that question, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? And then I started thinking, what if I'm not doing anything wrong? I was gifted the continuous option of choosing anything and everything. And I don't think that anything has to be a bad decision. There's always going to be lessons learned. So I'll take it, and I'll move accordingly as long as I stay aware of the patterns, I rather adjust my mind and my vision on the patterns that show up, so that I can constantly adjust instead of constantly question.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's something that I'm currently working on, but no. So to answer the first part of the question, no, I don't. Venice does this. It's a lot of me.
Yeah. Well, I think that goes back to what you were talking about earlier. It's we were just talking about people, and you'll get a combination of sometimes you get really chill people, sometimes you'll get aggressive people.
Yeah.
But it's all been a lesson in learning how to read people and read energies and things like that.
Yeah. Reading situations too. And that's really what it is. It's in life you're required to read your situations rather than overly question yourself.
Yeah.
The question should stay alive, but the direction of the question, don't don't overdrive one angle, especially when it becomes like destructive, you know, like vary your angles of question, you know, and like look more at like your situation, look at different layers instead of just like, is it right or is it wrong, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm learning.
I fuck with that. My thing also is sort of like, you know, sometimes you get like a hit, like intuitively, initially, on like environments, and you're like, how long am I supposed to be in this environment? And sometimes, like, you have to be in environments because of necessity. And like sometimes you're wondering, it's like, well, can I move on from this environment without calamity? You know, like how do I navigate shifts or transitions more? That's something I've been asking. And also like association, because it's like, I got space for all kinds of people. And like, I think I like being around different kinds of people. But not everybody's good for like what you may be on the mission for, like what you're trying to call or bring into your life. And sometimes that's like very subtle.
You mean like the knowing of that is very subtle, like the acknowledgement of that, or you're saying like the subtle differences?
The subtle differences.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, but I think that once you like let the question exist, like, okay, like you peep that somebody's in, you guys are separating, your roads are separating. Like once you peep the split, well, I don't want to say once you redirect it towards my life. Once
no, you can say you.
Once I peep the split, I wonder, I don't have the answers, but I wonder if it's more helpful to just sit. This is kind of what I'm testing out lately too, is like to just sit with that and allow it to reveal itself, rather than as soon as you see the split, like wonder what's the next response to that, you know? Of like cut this person off or cut, you know, or move aside, or, you know? Or do you just sit and wait and let it do its own splitting, you know?
Like in the past, like I would totally just let it do its thing and observe, because I feel like now I'm more reactive in a certain way. Like in a weird way, I feel like I take on energies like unconsciously. So then I feel like I have to like retreat a little bit in order to make sure I don't backslide. And I think sometimes that creates like unfavorable situations, or like ways of lack of communicating that I don't like. But at the same time, like I just try to do what I can.
When did you first realize that you absorb or you're susceptible to the energies, surrounding energies?
Honestly, it came off a bad mushroom trip. And then like after that, it was just like everything was different. So, yeah.
Wow. And how have you adapted to that?
Still trying things, you know, because it's like I really just enjoy like hearing people's stories and like interacting with different people and exploring. And I can't stop exploring, so I just have to be cautious.
Oh, because you're saying you get loose with the exploration and you'll deep dive.
Yeah, or it's like I'll be trying to like read, the energy will just come at me, and I don't know how to like turn it off. So I'll just be trying to like read into it too much, and then I'm like, I don't even want to be thinking about this. I'd rather be focusing on the things that generate like more joy, or like what I'm trying to accomplish.
So how do you redirect yourself?
Weird tactics.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I feel like that's something that I've been trying to navigate my entire life.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've always been very absorbent of energies, and I'm very susceptible. Oh, peace, bro. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, man?
How you doing?
Good.
I'll be around. I'm gonna set up. I'm right here behind Fluent with the crates. You know me and the crates. But we're like interviewing right now, so, so I'll see you in a bit.
Does he make stuff shit?
Yeah, he's an artist. Okay, so speaking of Pat, this is a great example.
Yeah, for sure.
He walked up at a great time because I'll use him as an example when we're talking about not exactly what we were last talking about, but going a little back about reading into situations and not like over exploring. So I met him, and the style in which I met him and just his story is almost identical to the style of which I met another friend, and his story too, and they happen to be the same age and come from the same state and under the same like conditions that made them migrate here to California. And it's a full year later that I met them, that I met him after meeting my other friend. And so I was kind of reading into that situation. I'm like, why is there a repeat happening? You know? But then I kind of stopped myself. I didn't do it with a specific tactic, but I kind of stopped myself with just being like, okay, it'll reveal itself. Like throughout our relationship, it will reveal itself. Yeah.
And have like little pieces started to come up?
Not yet, because it's brand new. It's fresh. Yeah. I only met him like a week ago. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, but going back into being absorbent.
Yeah.
I have always been like that my entire life. And it's really strange with my evolution of self, because I'm experiencing life from a different, what's the word? Like position. When I was younger, I was very introverted to the point where like I barely talked, you know, like I would just respond. Like if there's too much energy around me, I'd throw a fit, like flipping tables and stuff. And I'm like when people say from 0 to 100, I'm 0 to 100. Like I won't say a peep all day, but if you've been in my space too long, I'm throwing a fit. And the teachers will be like, "What's wrong, my angel?" And now I won't say that I'm completely extroverted, but I'm a lot more familiar and comfortable with being expressive. And yeah, it's just a completely different position from when I was young. And I never thought I would experience life from this position. So it's interesting. But from both angles, I was always absorbent. Like I still feel like it, and sometimes I'll have to retreat, and I'm learning a balance of isolation and like I guess communal involvement. Because I can feel that. I can feel when that energy, when I feel too full of energy that isn't mine. And that's when people start blowing up my phone, like, where have you been? Because I just go ghost. And yeah.
That's sort of how I deal with it too. Like, make myself unavailable.
Yeah.
And like, I try to let people know, it's like, hey, these are the other ways to get in touch with me.
Yeah.
But I notice, like, if it's not the phone, sometimes they're not fucking with it.
Yeah.
Like, if it's not easy, they're not fucking with it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. It is cool. And that's so beautiful to hear you say that's cool.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of guilt comes around that, or comes with that. When people can't get a hold of you, or when people can't get access to you, because that's what we're familiar and operating at, then it feels like you did some sort of crime because you made yourself unavailable, even if it was for the protection of self, you know?
Yeah.
I'm learning to unlearn that. And I started practicing that, and so sometimes I'll unapologetically be unavailable And it's really cool because I tend to lean on my other senses to be found. Like I'll even in those periods I'll even like say more prayers for people who may have like misunderstood my distance or misunderstood my silence, for them to find peace with whatever answers they're looking for or whatever anxiety that they led their thoughts through while trying to communicate with me and not finding me. You know, like I'll include that in my prayers, or I'll just make the intention. And it's been really cool because there have been days where I'm like, I'm gonna see this person. And then I'll walk and I'll see that person in a place that I would never see that person. And that happened twice so far. And I'm like, okay, so this is working. This is working. And I like that. So now, because of that experience, or those experiences, I just trust that if someone really needs to find me in that time, they will. Because I'm still available. Like, we're always still available as long as we're living, but it's just not in the same, at the same access point or in the same style of access that we got annoyed with or whatever.
Oh yeah. Like I think
telepathically I'm available.
That's what I like telepathically. I feel like I don't want to be available.
Oh, okay. To that.
Well, that's what I feel like. I feel like it comes on too much.
Oh.
And it's like, yo, like, I assume like you're hitting me up, but who knows? You know, because it's like too much.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, I just want to be with my own thoughts sometimes.
Yeah.
But it feels like it's 24.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, like I'm with this, I'm with this, I'm with this. Like this wants something, this wants something, this wants something. But it's like I feel like having it so, and I feel like this has like a real world component actually. It's like, let's say you're taking on responsibilities or duties of like certain positions or like relationships you have with people. You can get so spun out, like tending to everybody else. You can get so spun out, like fulfilling other people's wants or fulfilling roles. That like at the end of the day, or when it becomes your time, it's not really your time, because like then you're in some sort of recovery mode.
Okay. Yes.
I don't know. I feel like it's easy to get caught up in the momentum of other things when you may be trying to generate like a momentum for yourself in a certain capacity.
Oh, like setting those boundaries internally.
Yeah.
That brings up so many ideas. Like,
well, this is cool. It's like time to shoot the shit and like talk about ideas.
yeah. Okay, so one is the idea of us being a collective mind.
Okay, yeah.
And with that, it naturally forces you to be a part of the field of constant thought. I believe in the idea that thoughts aren't our own.
Oh yeah, I agree with that for myself.
I think that we can tailor thoughts. I was gonna say tay thought. We can tay our thoughts. But no, we can like tailor our thoughts and we can adjust them, and that's the power of the individual minds. You know, that's the beauty of it. But I also think it would be helpful to find beauty in being part of the collective mind, and like in that field and that pool of thoughts too. But that definitely requires some kind of way of like of groundedness, you know? Is groundedness a word?
I get what you're talking
grounding.
about. Yeah, and being grounded.
basically what you're talking about, like looking for that way to shut it off. Like that's a requirement, I think, once you realize the access to it. Because it sounds like, to me, and I want you to like clarify, but it sounds like your mushroom trip exposed your brain to that noise.
Yeah, I think it was already there.
Okay.
And like, I think it was easier to call it intuition.
Okay.
And like tap in and then tap out. But then it got to a point where it was like an overwhelm, and then not really knowing how to like tap out. Like, so then it's just become like another like adventure of exploring like other ways to like ground or like find like internal peace or something like that.
Well, what is your understanding of intuition? Like, what made you decide that that's intuition?
That's a great question.
And was it, like, not to beat you up with questions,
no, go
these
ahead.
are like questions that I asked myself. Was it just a reason to call it something, or did you thoroughly decide that it's intuition?
I feel like intuition is almost like almost knowing, or maybe just like hunches. And sometimes it's like the body talking to you. Sometimes it's like spirit talking to you, like your spirit, or maybe something like a thought form or a spirit talking to you for whatever reason, trying to give you information. So I would say like it exists in like a realm, if that answers your question. And I don't know how to, the second part, you'd have to repeat it for me to be able to like thoroughly address it, or address it better.
I was asking why
call it that?
Yeah, why you decided that was intuition, like that noise.
Oh, so
is it because it's aligned with the characteristics of what you define intuition as?
no, I think it's one of those things that while like I've referred to it vaguely in my own talking about it with myself, like for me, like intuition has definitely come from certain places in my body and thoughts that have a certain kind of feeling associated with them. And then getting like outside information, while it can be like useful, has a different sort of sensation.
Okay.
And then I think in sort of going through different kinds of like physical states of being, sometimes the two get sort of like mixed up.
So, okay, it sounds like we're kind of addressing two different things, because I assume that you were talking about like constant thoughts from pulling like from different places and different directions and stuff, but you're talking about like a specific like knowing, or you're talking about the voice of your intuition.
I'm actually talking about both things. Like,
oh, okay.
Yeah, you brought in the second thing.
Okay.
So now I'm talking about both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like intuition helps to I guess again, tailoring your relationship with your intuition helps to navigate like a smooth flow through the noise of all of those thoughts.
Yeah.
Not
ideally.
necessarily tailoring. Maybe I just wanted to use that word again, but I think enhancing or growing or strengthening your relationship with your intuition helps to guide those things, at least in my experience. And how do I explain how to do that? I don't know.
Yeah.
I got to think about that. And like, how do I explain how, in the times where I was successful at it, how I was able to do that? That's a good challenge for me to find. Yeah.
Well, like something I think is correlated, like when I talk about flow, like how does that occur for you?
Flow of what? Like,
you're talking about like navigating thoughts. So there's like what people will refer to as like flow state.
yeah.
So like when you're on an activity or you're doing something, like you can enter into like a mental state
Oh, yeah.
where your thoughts are aligned with like completing like the actions in a certain way. I think generally like referred to like with the most ease. But I also think there's like a way of, how do I say it, like there's a way of navigating, which I guess goes back to thought pattern.
Yeah.
The navigating can have flow to it.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's really interesting to talk about, because I think in this now moment, I'm realizing that flow is just flow. But I think before I was separating different types of flows, and I think that's probably just unnecessary. I just need to recognize that flow is flow, like a general flow. And so like when I think about flowing through like thoughts, I would think about that separately than the flow state of when I'm painting and creating. I would say that it's a different style until right now in this conversation, in my thoughts right now, I'm recognizing that no, flow is just flow.
Yeah.
Flow is just flow. Like there are definitely different styles of like exercising flow and like playing with flow, but generally flow is just flow.
Yeah. I like that. I feel like it's really simple.
Yes.
And it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
I also like over talking it and applying it to the different things.
Yeah.
But I think how you're saying it right now totally makes sense.
Yeah. It makes sense to me too.
Yeah.
Like flow is it's just a state to get to. And I think if you simplify it like that, then it's easier to get to in any condition that you're in or in any circumstance. Like if I just recognize that, like I stop looking at what flow looks like and I just recognize what flow feels like, then it's easier for me to get back to it in my mind. You know?
Yeah. And I think that's interesting. There was another artist I had on the podcast, and we were talking about sort of like the idea of like, you know, the body versus the mind, or like how to use the heart and stuff like that. And I think that sort of goes back to that, because it's like you said, how do I say it, like it's a feeling, the feeling of flow, like applying the feeling of flow to different circumstances.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not overthinking it so much.
Yeah.
You know, just for the sake of conversation, like I do like the conventions of craft. You know, like if we were talking about flow and painting, you know, just to take it back to art, you know, there's like another kind of conversation that could be had with someone who was well versed in painting, you know, having enough experience in the medium to like have a flow-based conversation around it. Yeah.
But I think it's because they're very familiar with that feeling of being in that state that can always guide them back to that.
Yeah, I like that. It's like something that's it's almost familiar, but how I'm feeling about it, it almost has like an ease.
Yeah.
And I think you can do like hard things with flow, you know, or like get through them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm imagining things that are challenging for me.
Yeah.
I'm really gonna hold on to this piece of information. I'm so glad that I recognize it as that right now, because I'm imagining like things that are hard for me, like the next thing that's hard for me, and just like how I would typically respond to it. And I know that there comes a flood of anxious thoughts of like, I don't know, just like difficulty. Like my thoughts just focus on the difficulty. But if I can just get past that and say, I don't need to worry about like what to think about. I just need to know where to be, like how to be about. And then once I be in that, then can come the proper knowledge, the proper focus, the proper whatever. But it's adjusting the being first.
Yeah,
that's, I think that, let me take the I think out. That is exactly what is necessary for me to be successful with painting too.
Oh yeah?
Every single time, that's what I'm looking for. But I'm sorry, I get so distracted out here.
It's all good. I'm just like paying attention, just in case.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. Something happens.
Yeah.
And we need to like move or something like that.
Like out here, my eyes are always on a swivel. Like.
Yeah. Head on pivot.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
yeah, being
is necessary to create, because you have to be a creator in order to create. Like by nature, we're all creators, you know.
Yeah.
And so that is like your basic gift of life, or your basic skill of life is how to create. Like.
So. Do you think like being ties into identity? Like there's totally like a certain way to go about it.
Thank you for continuing on, because I pause for stuff like that. Repeat that question?
Like being tied to identity?
No, being is so beyond identity, and I'm so glad that you asked that. Being is way beyond your identity. How cute. Being is just being, like it's beyond those layers of like relation. Like it's not about, it's like the most inner point of experiencing self. It's not on any of those other layers that identity encompasses. It's like the part of you that gets to exist without identity. Like being does not require an identity.
You think so?
I think so.
You don't think like being like sort of like morphs into identity and like takes the form, almost if like identity was like an ice tray and being was like water?
That analogy is not going through my brain.
Okay.
But no, because I don't think that, well, I can't say no because I didn't even process that analogy fully. But I guess to clarify is that it doesn't require that. Like you can take one of the things that form or shape your identity, you can remove that and you'll still be. And then I can remove another thing that shapes my identity. Like I could take my race away and I'm still being. I mean, I can't take my race away, you know, because that's what I became. But I I can be reincarnated as something other, and I'll still be. So like, let's just say I can switch my race and I'll still be. I could switch my gender and I'll still be. I could switch my hair. That's like a big focal point of my identity. I could switch that and I'll still be. Like, my being doesn't require any of those things. Those are just extensions of my being, you know, which is beautiful, and it's a part of like the uniqueness of my being, but I can still be when all of those things have been stripped from me. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm just trying to see how to tie it back to painting. You know, it's like you can still be, and it's like also the other ideas that were coming up was like the things that make up our identity that we're born with or that we shape. In different environments, they mean different things. You know, it's like your race and my race mean one thing in like Venice, California, but it means a different thing in the other side of the world, and it means another thing, you know, like it's contextual.
It is, but I feel for myself, in order to have a grounding in the way that I navigate life, I have to constantly remove or detach, I should say. That's the difference, because when you detach things, you can always reattach them. And I have to detach from those layers of my identity, and I think that's like, to tie it back into painting. For me, a lot of my art focuses on that being beyond identity. Like, when you look at my painting, it's like I always ask people to describe it for me, because you know that's the number one question you get, like, as an artist. What type of art do you make? And I'm like, I'll say abstract, you finish? And then like I'll show them and they're like, dang, it is like abstract, but it's not. Like, it almost wants to be surreal and it almost wants to be this and that. And I'm like, exactly. And then it's like, some people, before I show them, they'll ask me like, do you paint characters? Do you paint this? I'm like, yeah, they form as characters, but ultimately it's just a reflection. Like, when I guess to tie all of these ideas back into my art, when I'm in that flow state, I'm not looking for an image, I'm not looking for like a specific thing. I just open the channel, and I know by now, with my familiarity with my process, that certain things come in certain orders. Like, I know that there's always going to be multiple faces that show up. That's never like my conscious plan, but it's like I now am conscious that that's part of the spirit's plan as it works through me. And so I'm like, I know I'm gonna see a face soon. The more that I work on this, I know that there's gonna be like a bunch of eyes. I know that there's gonna be a bunch of waves. I know that, like, I know these things, but when it becomes what it is, it always makes something. It always makes something. There's always something there to reveal itself, but they're always different. And it's like, I go to the same state and I go to the same point of being, and I rely on the same source of energy to guide me and to influence my moves and how I maneuver the canvas. But the only way to get there is without having a set idea in my mind, or a set these things that I say. Whenever I do that, like if I say I'm gonna put a butterfly right here, I fucked up the whole canvas.
Really?
Like, yeah, like I can't do that. Well, I don't want to say that I can't, but that's not how I flow.
Yeah.
Like, I don't decide first that something that I know or like understand already can be placed here. Like, me working it is me finding a new understanding every time, and it's only through that empty state of being without any layers of like whatever piled on it that I can achieve that, and that it can become like the beauty that it ultimately becomes.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
But it's like detached from these identities that I know. Like I was saying earlier, or just a minute ago, that I know that a face is gonna become, but if I try to say like I want there to be a face, then I'm already focusing too hard on one part of the painting's identity, you know? Instead of just being in that state of like letting it be, I guess. I don't know. I'm not very good at explaining.
No, like
things.
I feel like that's a great explanation, and it relates back to something that I read like not too long ago, like the past couple weeks. It's like treating like the piece like a plant almost.
Yeah.
Or like a kid.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is how I used to think about it. It's like kids have their own personality.
Yeah.
You know, plants are made to grow into what they are.
Yeah.
Like as an artist, almost like a farmer or some shit like that. A lot of metaphors. You know, it's like you just sort of facilitate the creation becoming what it would like to be. And you sort of can guide it. And if you want to place projection on it being beautiful, you know, it can become beautiful.
Yeah. And you know what? Like tying the identity back to it, that's my way of operating. But it's not to say that the focus of identity is only, what's the word, like that it's inconvenient, or that it's like destructive or distracting. It's not to say that. It can be. And so yeah, it definitely can be. And I've seen that and I've experienced that. But I've also experienced it, or I should say witnessed it. In my being, it gets in the way a lot. And I think that's one thing that I am grateful that I recognize about myself, because it helps me understand how to move in the world and how to move in life, is knowing like what my limitations, or what my not necessarily limitations, but what my strong points are.
Yeah.
And so for me, I know that I have to move with like less identity attached to me. But I've seen it work so beautifully for people, and I truly believe that some people are here to stand stronger in an identity. Like there's some people like people that do portraits. Let's say like if we're talking about artists, like people that do portraits, like there's people that do amazing like portraiture.
Absolutely.
But that's not me. And if I try to use like their tactics like for what I'm doing, I'm gonna just be looking at the canvas like 12 hours a day, just looking. But I think understanding like where you're supposed to be looking at is key, you know.
Attention, yeah.
And like for my art too, what I've learned through it, and this is another thing of like talking about my art and having dialogue about something that is like nonverbal. I've learned what it is through like trying to answer that question of like, what is this, or what do you make? I've learned that it's reflecting something underneath all those things too. Like it focuses on like an essence that's underneath. So for me to focus on layers that lie on top of that essence would be a disservice to my specific art.
I like that. I like that you have like the wherewithal to even understand like what's for your creative practice and what's not.
Yeah.
Like your art is, you have enough experience with the energy that it's just like, yeah, this is for my art and this is not for my art.
Yeah.
Whereas some people, it's like, I'm like, yo, like you could do this too if you wanted to.
Yeah.
You're just closed off to it.
Yeah. Yeah, but it also depends on what people have chosen art for.
Yeah.
Because some people choose art and other people are chosen by art. And, well, maybe not. Maybe in order to do it, it requires for both to choose each other. How about I say that?
I like that. It's like a relationship.
It is a relationship. The art has to choose you and you have to choose art, but we do have all of our separate reasons for why we have chosen the art in return. And some of the reasons why we have chosen the art in return is because it has proven itself to be a guide to us, or it has proven itself, or it has showed up in an undeniable way that almost tells you directly, like, this is what you need to be doing. And I feel like so many artists they have had that experience. People that have chosen art in the same way that I have chosen art, I know that they have that experience of where at some point in your relationship to art, it has spoken to you and said, this is why you're here, or this is what I'm going to do with you. You work with me and this is what I need you to deliver. And once you get that experience in a relationship, you're married. That's it. It proposes to you. That's what it is. There comes a point where art proposes to you. And then once you have that, then you start opening your mind to having that understanding of like what I am to it and what I'm supposed to do with it and what my style is, and then that just opens the door to all of that understanding. So I think that's where that came from. Like once art proposed to me, then I started handling those questions and that type of information of like, okay, this is what I am, this is what I ain't. Yeah.
The identity.
Yeah. Yeah. And then this is where I should go.
So why come out to Venice? Or like why come out to LA?
It was not for art. It was for survival.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought you came out here for creative reasons.
No, I came out here for survival reasons.
Okay. Yeah. So like making art in like different kinds of environments, what have you found has been like qualities in environment that have been conducive to you making art that you enjoy making?
Environments. Can I start with circumstances?
Yeah, for sure.
I was taking advantage of my relationship with art when my circumstances were easy to float in, like obliviously and like carelessly. But then when things started getting a little out of my control, art became the only thing that I could really lean on to be grounded, to be sane, to be like upright, to like have some type of reason, you know. And so I started painting, and then it started guiding me to different environments.
Really?
And it guided me like so perfectly to the point where I'm like, I cannot deny you as a leader, you know, like I can't. It guided me so perfectly. Like when I'm looking, I'm like praying every day, and I'm like reading shit online, like trying to figure out how to get a hold of my life and stuff like that. The answers were in the process of making art.
Oh, I like
that being that we talked about, and sitting in that being, and the question that it makes you, and the questioning that it makes you do, and the uncovering of emotions. Like through the stillness, you know, or through like the playing and the blending. Like it just does, like, it just did that. So certain circumstances, like circumstances of pressure have forced me to be more engaged with it and to be more consistent and bonded to it. And then through that, it has guided me to so many environments. And what I found is that it will, depending on the circumstance, it will do it'll do what it needs to do in any and every environment. Any and every environment, it'll show up with like as equal amount of like safety for me, or equal amount of like interest in me. You know, like it doesn't matter which environment I'm in for me to get what I need to get out of it. But as far as like my preference, when I get to be the leader, I prefer like in my own, like in silence. I love to be outside in nature. So like being here is so different. It's different being on this side, like closer to the boardwalk, than it is being by the water. I love painting by the water because once you cross that field, that sand, I call it the silicone silence, or the silicon silence, because like it's silicon sand, and I'm like it gradually becomes silent once you get closer to the water.
I guess that.
That water is like the closest thing we're gonna get to God while we're living on earth.
I like the ocean too.
That's my understanding. And so when I'm by that water, that's the best thing I can get. It doesn't always work because it gets very windy over there at certain times, and holding a canvas and doing all this stuff. But when it does, it's beautiful. That's my favorite environment ever, 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 ever. To create anything with. Like I like making jewelry over there. I like write. I love to write by the water.
Nice.
I love painting by the water. I love sketching by the water. The water. That's my favorite.
The water.
Second, I like to be in parks. Like when I was living in my car, I would sleep. I had this big old canvas, and I would like sleep under it. Like I would lay the seats down, and I would sleep under I would lay the canvas on top of me, and it fit perfectly in my car, so it didn't look like anyone was there, and it would cover me. And that was, I would take that, and I would drive to the mountains, and I would just take the canvas out in the mountain. It's a couple of them that come through here like 3-4 times a day just to get a little attention or something. Doing donuts is crazy.
This is awesome. Oh, yeah. So dude is on a motorized scooter playing chingy.
And then we know better because we just be making it feel so good. There's so many characters. It's funny. It's really funny out here. Look at it. I love this. Like this environment is cool for me.
Yeah.
To a degree. Like I definitely have to go and be in my silence at some point. But to create, to paint in this is like, I can't seriously paint in this. It's too much noise going on. It's too much busyness.
It's a combination of things. I couldn't even just call it one thing.
But you know what this environment does do? Like it does hype you up.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel, especially like when you're amongst all your friends, it just feels it feels like a cookout. Like you just get to be at the cookout every day.
Yeah.
And like at the cookout you're just having fun.
Yeah.
And that fun feeds your art in a different type of way too.
I think so. Like, the studio is great, and I've said this before, the studio is great. Being out is also important, I think, when you want to make stuff.
Yeah.
You got to live life too.
Yeah.
Because, like, to me, for a long time, I was just trying to make my life just about art.
Yeah.
And then someone asked me a question. They're like, what would you do? It's a hypothetical, and it doesn't really make sense. And I've asked it in the podcast before. Mm-hmm. What would you do if you were the only artist? Like, in your community, in your state, in the world, you know, like, what would you do? How would your art be different? You know?
I think that's a good question, especially for a place like this, because here, everybody's an artist.
Yeah.
And so it's like, what would you do if you were the only artist here? That's a good question.
And for me, it became more about documenting my life. Mm-hmm. So, like, the art goes with my life. Mm-hmm. Instead of, like, it's this separate thing that I'm trying to feed in private or, like, give energy to in private and then bring out into the world. It's like, how do I make it so the art can flow with the life? So, like, as my life expands, like, it's able to go with the expansion.
And so I want to like, with that being said, I want to correct what I said about me not being able to do that out here. It's not that I'm not able to, but that's the honest truth of what it's been feeling like. But I rather say that I just haven't found that balance yet. Mm-hmm. But I would, like, ideally, that's what I would like. I would like to be able to. Well, I mentioned earlier, like, how I had the experiences where it can meet me out here. It can meet me in this space, like the inspiration and that flow state can meet me under these conditions of the noisiness and merged in the community and stuff. I know that it can, but I haven't successfully, consistently done that yet. And to be honest, I feel like sometimes I'd just be giving up on that because the absorption of the energies and stuff would be like...
It's like more party. And it's like, how do you make something quote unquote like real or serious like in the middle of a party?
Exactly. Exactly.
That's why I really enjoyed like having a drawing group or something like that.
I was going to say, I wish there probably is something out here in
LA for sure.
But I kind of want that here, like right here in Venice, you know? And I've considered that. Well, I kind of did that, to be honest, when I first came out here. A lot of people would talk to me. I think they were just excited to see someone new, and I think that my art was different from the art that they were familiar with for that season. And so I got a lot of traction. And I think also in my delivery was different too, because it's a lot bigger than that, and I like to curate things, so I think the way that I was curating it was doing a lot of, like, it was attracting a lot of people. But people would come and, like, they'd want to hang out and stuff, and I made it very inviting once I realized that. I'm picking up on so many conversations, sorry.
It's all good.
But last year when I was doing that, I made it very inviting, and people would come and sit down, but in an attempt to balance my productivity and my flow state with, like, my immersion in the environment, I would say, okay, like, you can hang out with me, but you have to be doing art. Like, if you're gonna be sitting up at my booth, you need to be, like, you gotta be creative over here, and I'm just gonna be feeding off my energy. Like, let's make stuff, you know, that's what this is about. And so I would have, like, little groups people, and I would bring extra books and would just all be drawing or painting or something. And then out here, a lot of people are like, houseless, or a lot of people come here for that reason, because you can freely be houseless without being kicked out of places. There's a lot of resources around, and this community specifically is so used to that we've built. There have been resources that are either like that have already been built in the past, or that we're actively trying to persist in like new creative ways of looking out for one another. But anyways, there's a lot of houseless people that show up and need spaces to be and stuff like that. So it became easy, like when they're walking by, I'm like, do something better with your time, because after, you'll see it too, after a while of being out here, people just start going in the wrong direction, or they start getting a hold of wrong things and stuff. And when the people, what makes a difference between, I guess, like a successful experience out here, and by success I mean just finding safety and like and keeping yourself upright, is just having something to do. Really, it comes down to that, having something to do. When you don't have nothing to do, then somebody else gives you something to do that may or may not be good for you.
Sounds like life.
Yeah. So my idea was like, if I'm seeing so many of these people, and I was in their condition when I first came out here, but I figured something out. So if I can like give them somewhere to be and like something to do, so they're not just chasing behind some BS, you know, then that'll keep them upright until the next thing comes their way. So I don't know, that was my idea, and I found it to be successful, and I found it to be effective, I should say. I forgot how I got there.
So,
I was talking about the groups, like and it fed me too. It fed me just to have those people in the area, and like us exchange like different skills and stuff. That was really helpful to me. Yeah.
What have you picked up any interesting skills like lately? Yeah,
like my my older friend, Roman, rest in peace, he carves these masks, which is very interesting, because I also had an older friend in the IE that also made masks out of palms, out of the fallen palm. And then I came and met him, and he ended up being one of the closest people that I know on this boardwalk. And he would carve masks into like the fallen palm bark or leaves, and he would do carving and then wire wrapping in them. There's actually a piece right here on that palm tree.
Oh, that's one of his pieces?
No, I made that in honor of him.
Oh, cool. I like that.
And that's basically what he did. He did stuff like that and made feathers. He did like a lot of woodwork and stuff like that. So on the days where the energy was too chaotic for me to feel comfortable with painting, I would sit beside him and learn some of those things. And there's another guy, he'll probably come out when the sun isn't so sharp, but Abel, he's an elder that's been here for years too, and he does a lot of wire wrap and jewelry making, and he teaches me a lot, so I hang out with them. And these are things that I've already done, but these men are really, really skilled at it. So, yeah. And henna, different things. Yeah, like there's so many little things that I picked up around here. Yeah, martial arts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So much. Yeah. Yeah, like Dre over here, he does wood burning. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's set up today, but it's so cool. He just uses the sun and a magnifying glass, and he makes the most beautiful art.
Cool.
So yeah, that's another thing about this place is like you can just go 500 feet and find a new mentor, you know? So that's beautiful. Even yesterday. yesterday, Fluent here was teaching me how to make barbed wire. And we just did like a mini workshop, like randomly.
What was the purpose of learning how to make barbed wire?
It wasn't. It was just we were talking about cool ways to set up an easel, and then we started talking about if we were to set up like a workshop out here, and he was like, here's a workshop, and he just pulled out some wire and showed me how to make barbed wire real fast, and that was it. It's just as simple as a conversation that has an idea behind it, and then you just do it on the spot.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Is he from out here?
He's from the IE too.
Okay.
I think I just recently learned that. Yeah.
So, like, when it comes to, it definitely seems like you have an interest in like community.
Yeah.
And like shaping community.
Yeah.
Like the first time I talked to you, we had a very interesting conversation about shaping community.
I believe that, but I don't remember it.
That's fine.
Tell me.
I cannot recreate it.
Okay.
Because it was years ago.
Yeah.
It seems like a year ago, but it was a couple years ago.
That's really cool. I don't remember that, but I'm sure I would imagine that because that's a common topic for me. Yeah, It's always on my mind. I was just talking about that this morning before I met up with you.
Oh, tell you.
Yeah, me and another artist out here were talking about how to create the community that our friend Roman kind of started with his absence. But yeah, community is very important to me. Sorry, I was going to take over right now, but did you have a leading question behind that?
I was going to ask, are there questions like related to it? Yeah. But you can go ahead, take over. Like,
I think that has always been natural for me. Everything that I've ever done has always bridged community in some kind of way. And when I became aware of that, I really started paying attention to it. A lot of people would give me the credit for creating like friendships. And then I started noticing like that's a pattern.
Nice.
The pattern recognition kicked in.
Yeah,
I started noticing like I hear that a lot. And so then I started paying attention to it, and I'm like, I think that is my natural power, that I bridge things.
That's tight.
Yeah. And like I think I bridge things. So like how would I, then I went through the whole, how do I do that intentionally now? How do I put some intentionality behind it? But then I realized it don't really have to do that. Like if it's my nature, it's my nature. I just have to put intentionality behind what I want to see, and that will naturally bridge whatever it needs to bridge. I've seen it done so many times. So yeah, I just have accepted that as my role on earth.
Oh, cool.
To be a bridge.
Like, I feel like it can go in different ways. Do you feel like there's a way where it's like it's like a win-win-win type situation? Like, not only are you providing a bridge, but it's like providing connections for people and like improving things for them, but then also like feeding you too, like everybody eats type situations.
Yes, absolutely. Every single time. Well, every single time I let it be natural, I do win from it. But when I don't let it be natural, I exhaust myself, and then I feel like I didn't even, I end up taking from myself.
Yeah.
But when I let it be natural, yeah, it's a win. It's a win-win situation. Everybody wins.
Have you figured out strategies to like replenish yourself, like from past situations where it's like
set boundaries?
Just boundaries.
For the most part, is like saying no.
Yeah.
Is very hard.
You think so?
For me, it has been. but it doesn't have to be for me or for anyone. But it has been. But setting boundaries has like definitely saved me. But the setting boundaries happens before it happens alone. You know, like I set the boundary with myself and saying, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, this is how much I'm willing to accept of this thing, this is how much I'm not willing to. And it's my responsibility to move accordingly. Sometimes that requires external conversations and communication with other people, but sometimes it doesn't. It just requires for me to hold that position that honors that boundary that I set with myself. And I don't have to explain it, because that's also a thing for me, is not over explaining things that I change or things principles in my life.
Nice.
It is beautiful when I'm successful, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not always successful immediately, but sometimes I have been, because it's been a lot easier than I thought. And yeah, that has helped me so much. Yeah, setting those boundaries.
I like that you talk about like it starts like alone.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. There's I started this movement that turned into this independent organization called Moral Exchange. It used to be This Is Earth, but I didn't like This Is Earth because it sounded too protesty, like this is Earth, and like I'm not shout. That's not my nature. I'm not just shouting. I like Moral Exchange, and at some point, like Moral Exchange just sounded genius to me. And then I have certain things that I check that to make sure it's aligned with what I'm supposed to do. Like I do like a whole numerology thing and stuff. And when I did that with that name, it was perfect. And I was like, this is what it is. This is what it is now, Moral Exchange. And the acronyms for that are ME, M-E. And so I'm like, I love that. And the slogan for it is change roots within me, and that's like a double entendre. It's like change roots within me, like all the change that I ever want to see in the world has to start within myself. But then it's also saying like, in order to change, to make something, you have to change the roots. And where do you change the roots? Within myself. It's the same thing, but in two different ways. I don't know if that meets the requirements of a double entendre, unless it has to be two different meanings, but it's basically saying the same thing in the same way. But yeah, I love that, because that's my philosophy to life. Anything that I want to change, and in my relationship to anything. I was just talking to a guy out here yesterday about stagnance in art, and I was saying that my relationship to this canvas, like the frustration that I get at a certain blockage, it's only shining a light on a blockage that I have within myself. Like I can't go anywhere on the canvas that I haven't been inside of my own worlds. You know, like I can't take it there because I haven't been there. I have to allow myself to take it there. There's a certain emotion that I'm trying to evoke in anything that I make. And if I haven't dealt with those emotions in me, then how the hell am I going to make it on something else? And the same thing in a relationship with the person. Like how if there's something I want the person to change, or something that I'm requiring or expecting from a person, if I haven't met those expectations within myself, how can I expect that from anybody else? So yeah, truly, all change roots within you, all change roots within me. Anything, everyone's responsible for the change they want to see. Everybody. And to me, that is self-empowering. And there's a very thin line between that and the self-empowerment and the what's the word, like punishment or blame, you know? Like there's a thin line between empowerment and blame.
Really? Because I feel like I see how they can overlap or connect, but they feel so distinct. You know, like almost like if you're blending colors or something like that. There's the point where the colors are starting to come together and blend and maybe make a third color, but there's two separate colors.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you may be internally talking to yourself a certain way, and initially it feels like it's helping you empower yourself or like getting you to where you want to go, but over time, like it's gonna show itself.
Yeah.
You know, and then ultimately you find out it's not really that.
Yeah. Well, I think that's only because your eye is adapted to like variance, like to somebody that just knows
I see what you're saying.
Yellow
like
as yellow, they're gonna be like, I don't give a fuck if it's neon. Sorry, can I cuss?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like they're gonna be like, I don't give a fuck if it's neon or if it's mustard yellow. Like I don't care. Like just put some yellow on it, you know? Like I'll give you an example of what I meant by that. I was in okay, it's good noise, right?
It's over there.
Okay. I was in this in a relationship where I went through some crazy shit. Like I was going through some crazy stuff, and for the longest my story was.
Go ahead. Your story was.
My story was this happened to me, and he did this to me, and I was a victim of this, and whatever. And then there's a switch that happened. There was like an acknowledgement and some introspection that I had to do, and my story transitioned or transformed, I guess, into this happened for me. Like I am the reason why this happened to me. I brought this into my life. I allowed this. And when I started to say that story, when I was saying the first story, everyone was nurturing me. But then when I changed the story to be more responsible for it, everyone said, hold on, like you got it wrong. Now you're blaming yourself. Now you're saying you're the reason. You're not the reason. But I was the reason. I am the reason. We all are the reason. When you really take responsibility for what you are and who you are and what you produce and what you attract and what you magnetize, that puts you in a position to take responsibility over everything or accountability over everything. And so it's easy to see for someone who doesn't know what I mean by that to think that I'm blaming myself. And that's what I meant by the thin line between blaming and being, I forgot how I worded it, but
there was a thin line between empowerment,
yes,
and the other word,
and blame. Empowerment and blame. Because I think in my eyes, when I change the story to know that happened because of me, that feels empowering to me, because it feels like now I recognize something within myself that I didn't see. Now I have the vision to see and to acknowledge and to take responsibility for a thing that was in me that wasn't functioning properly, or that I was allowing to exist, that was attracting something that I deserved it, because my definition of deserve is what is. Like there's a cause and an effect for everything. If you are holding on and you're carrying this cause, you're going to see that effect somewhere. And so like if I have something unhealed in me, or if I have like this excessive need for something that I was hiding from myself, I'm still responsible for holding on to it. Just because I chose to be oblivious to it doesn't mean that I am absolved from responsibility or accountability. I'm just choosing to be blind, you know? But me opening my eyes empowers me, because now I can choose what stays and stored inside of me and what I release. And once I pay attention to those things and I say, no, I see you, I'm not going to pretend like you're not there, then I could start to shape my reality, and then that stuff won't be attracted to me anymore. So in my eyes, that's very empowering to acknowledge those things, but it's very easy for people to hear me say that and say that I'm blaming myself, you know?
Well, yeah. Also, it's like, you know, some things are hard to decipher internally.
Yeah.
Some things are hard to heal internally. And then it's like, if you had that perspective on life, you know, you could end up into another cycle of blame because you don't know how to heal. And you don't know what you need to heal. Or it's like, you might recognize the pattern, but then it's like, you even ask questions. It's like, how do you move on from the pattern? You know, it's
yes,
like,
exactly.
Yeah.
And if you don't acknowledge your responsibility or your role in the situation, then you can't open up yourself to those solutions.
There's this book I've been reading, and it's reality transurfing.
What is it called?
Reality transurfing.
Okay.
And it's basically philosophy. I don't agree with everything in it, because some of it just doesn't make sense. But it does talk about like the idea of like how you hold your internal energy changes how the world can occur to you.
Exactly. Exactly what I'm saying.
Some people talk about that in terms of frame, you know, like keeping your frame. And I also think it's important to like generate something, like you said, that's natural to you, or it's like in alignment with who you naturally are. Because it's harder to maintain frames of things that you're not really built for. And I do know the difference between, you know, some people say like you're not cut out for a certain shit, and then you prove them wrong. You know, sometimes that's like hard work. Sometimes they just don't see it. And then sometimes there's things that you surprise yourself and you step up and like handle when you thought you weren't really fit for handling that kind of shit. So I understand like overcoming limits. Be they self-imposed or like absorbed from external sources. But then also I think what it really comes down to is like learning what's really not for you. Like truly what's not for you. As opposed to having someone else tell you what's not for you too.
Exactly. Like for instance, being here. Like I was treating my art as a hustle. Like when I first got out here, and everybody would tell me too, and they thought they were being helpful to me, and they were saying like, you got to do this, you got to do that, like you gotta structure yourself this way and blah blah blah, because then you want to attract tourists, you want to do this. And I'm just like, actually I don't want that. Like I don't want to do that. I don't want my art to be, I don't want to use it that way. I don't want that, and that's not what I'm looking for. And then I started realizing I went through like getting offended by people's advice, and to realizing like I just simply don't have to accept it. That's how they want to present their stuff. Like that actually probably does really work well, and they're truly being so kind because they're telling me what works for them. But I recognize that we are completely different. That's not gonna work for me because art didn't show up for me like that. Art told me to do this with it, and so who am I gonna listen to? Like them or art? And art told me something different, and so I learned like I'm not an art hustler. I'm not. And so, and when I was trying to, I was just like, I'm not going nowhere with this. Like, I cannot do this. This is not sustainable for me.
Yeah, sustainability.
It's exhausting. It feels like, I really tried to, and I'm like, no. You gotta know when something is just difficult and when it's like not for you at all. And I learned like that is not my style. Like I wasn't meant to hustle art. And then once I learned to say that out loud, like I am not an art hustler. It felt so good in my heart.
Nice.
Like, oh, that's the answer. I'm just not that. So I know what is for me is there's also difficulty in that, but it's not the same type of difficulty because it's just the nature of challenge of becoming the evolved version of yourself, but it's not the same challenge. That's a completely different style of challenge than becoming something that you're not, you know? Yeah, so that's my experience of learning what I am and what I'm not. I'm not a hustler. And I used to think I was, and like those are thin lines too, because I used to think I was because I knew how to. Like, I knew how. I'll just say that. I knew how to hustle. And I thought it would be easy. It would be easy. And it's not as easy. It was easy for other things, you know, but when it comes to this thing that I really care so much about, it's not that easy to apply that kind of effort to it.
Yeah. I fuck with that. I feel like I've learned some of that, like working some of the commercial art jobs.
Yeah.
It's like when it becomes, because in certain environments it's never enough.
Yeah.
It's a marathon, but they don't treat it like it.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get you to sprint, like every hour on the minute.
Yeah.
But it's not built for success that way. So, like in taking certain things that I want to practice or experience, it's like if I was going to turn this into a marathon, you know, like would it be sustainable? And a lot of the times it's not. But also, sometimes you need certain things to even run that race. And it's like also asking the questions, well, why do you want to run the race?
Yes, exactly.
Sometimes just for fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's okay.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think asking yourself why you want to do something changes everything. Because sometimes you realize, like, I don't even want to do this. Until I asked myself that question, I didn't know I did not want to do this. I was just doing it.
Yeah. So, like, where you're at now, where do you see, what is, like, successful painting look like?
Oh.
Is the success in a certain kind of...
I said, oh.
Yeah. Does it include financial gain? Does it include like a certain kind of experience, like emotional payoff?
It can. I'm open to that. I'm open to that, but I don't rely on that. You know, it's really interesting because there's another thin line between not having expectations from life, but also having goals.
Yeah.
And I have goals But for my art, it's aligned with what I have in expectation of my life. And in my life, like, I have goals too, but the main goal for both is to learn how to remain open. That's what I want to master. Through all the obstacles of life, through all the blockages in my brain, through all of the little rocks in my heart, you know, like how to find my way to that openness. I guess a major goal that I have for my art as far as a processor is to develop such an intimate relationship with that channel that I get everything from. That's my goal, is to have a sustainable relationship with that, with spirit, you know, and to have like the channel dilated enough for large loads to come through.
Oh, bigger information packets, or
big information packages, but without the walls being broken. So I have to strengthen
the capacity.
I have to strengthen that.
Yeah.
And that mirrors my goal for my life, is like to grow my capacity. Without being I know exhaustion is a temporary thing, so I won't say without exhaustion. I don't fear the experience of like temporary exhaustion, but without being, I don't know, like smashed or broken,
burnt out.
Yes.
Yeah, fried.
Without being fried and burnt out. Yes.
Yeah.
That's my goal. I don't want to be burnt out with art.
Yeah.
I guess. As far as like materialistically, I would like to have my own gallery.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think that would be really nice.
Like gallery in any part of the world, or California specifically, or?
I don't have a specific.
Is part of the function of the gallery to sell? Is it to just show? Is it like then stepping into like a curator type?
I don't know, honestly. Like, I like the idea of curating, and I like curating, not more than the idea. I like it. I like organizing things. I'm really trying to manage this conversation amongst all of this.
Yeah, but I feel like the whole thing is almost like what we've been talking about this whole time.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, how do you stay focused?
Yeah.
And
it's
present?
Good exercise, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very good exercise.
So I can see why you'd want to be out here, like, making stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, because everything is interesting.
Yeah.
But then also you're like, some of the stuff I want to pay attention to because of safety.
Yeah, exactly.
There's so many stories.
Yeah.
That are happening like all around, and a lot of it's really interesting, and a lot of it's not. It's offline, you know.
Yeah.
Like.
Okay, to finish answering your question of what my goal is with art, is that what you asked?
No, the gallery.
Oh, with the gallery.
Yeah.
Where? No, I haven't decided where. I have not decided where. I think I don't even want to be in charge of where. Like that. Cool. That's one of the things that I'm like. I'm not even gonna waste my time on trying to decide where. Like, I'll probably put it in the plans as I come up with more details, but I'm not gonna be married to where. Those kind of decisions I let the universe decide.
And it seems like the universe shows up for you in that way.
Like me coming to Venice, I did not know I was gonna be in Venice.
Yeah.
I did not. I didn't know. And it's like, I know Venice. Like, I know Venice. I'm very familiar with Venice, but I didn't expect, like, it did not cross my mind. It didn't cross my mind that this is where I was headed. And here I am, a year later. Yeah, so.
And who knows, like.
And I found things that I needed.
Yeah.
Like, everything that I needed for what I was going through, everything, and it showed up. And what I learned here, too, is let it do its thing. Like, this life is always going to be a collaboration. Like, you can't make every single decision on your own. You don't make every single decision on your own. It's spirit, it's the universe, and it's you. And you have to allow room for the others to do their part. And it's like spirit is really the one that's guiding and that's driving the force of energy through you and through the mirror of you, which is the universe. If you X that out or you cross that out of the picture, you're just gonna be like slamming into yourself. It's like the universe, the way I see it, is a portal. It's like, it's a reflection, a portal of reflection. But it's only activated with spirit. And if you cross spirit out of the picture, then it still is a reflection, but it's no longer a portal. It's just there staring at you. And so that's how we get into loops. And I've seen that being out here too, because I carried the same kind of mentality that I had before I got out here, of like asking why me and all these things, like just moping, I guess. And feeling like the odds were against me, but then I had to learn how to transcend that way of thinking and start to open that portal up again, and started to see the things in front of me as, it's actually reflecting my state of being. That limitation that I feel like is obstructing my view of everything good in the world is only me looking at myself, but I could step through myself by changing my mind, changing the way that I think, I can actually say, I just stepped through, excuse me, but this place happens to be the place that I've learned that at, and I'm very grateful to it because of that. Yeah.
I like that. It's almost like for more like metaphors and shit like that, like the river of life or the flows of life, learning to work with it.
Go with the current.
Yeah.
Go with the flow. And what better place to learn that than at the ocean, The water will do that to you.
Again, like, it seems like the right place for you at the right time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's always good to go with the flow of environments, especially if it's not in tune with, like, your better health. But it also takes awareness to recognize.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily going with the flow of an environment, because I don't agree with that either. But it's like understanding the flow that is in you and the flow that is showing up in that environment. Like, if something is persistent enough, like for me, this kind of sounds crazy. I'm not going to go into it because I'll have to ultra explain what I mean.
Yeah.
Without sounding like I'm insane. But basically, I keep seeing the same person show up in different
Iterations?
Yes. And it's like, why am I constantly in this situation? This is a pattern that is trying to pierce itself in my reality constantly. Like, it hasn't given up. Maybe this is something that I should pay attention to.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. like this is obviously something that is constantly flowing through my life. It has like a prominent position, and so for me to keep ignoring that, like that's the opposite of acceptance, I guess, or accepting the flow to me. But or responding to it, I should say. It's not being ignorant to it, but it's deciding to reject it would be not going with the flow. Acceptance is going with the flow. Acknowledgement is going with the flow, you know?
Yeah.
Many magical things have happened to you, and I just like...
I can see that, yeah.
It's so crazy. This place is just... It's very chaotic, but it's beyond the chaos. Like, when I remove all the noise and all the objects and all the persons, and I consider this place geographically, it is a very powerful place. Alone, but then with all this stuff on top of it, it becomes an even more like powerful place in a different kind of way.
Yeah.
But even without this noise, it's already so powerful. Yeah, I learned so many layers of myself too.
That's
and
cool.
I have fun with my identity here.
Yeah.
I do have a lot of fun with my identity.
Well, my thing about places like this, well, obviously it's a good time. You know, like that other edge is there, like the party edge. I don't want to use that. I also feel like it's easy to get swept up in those currents just by proxy, you know?
It absolutely is.
Every day is a weekend.
Every day is a weekend.
And after a while, it's like you spend a lot of your days in this space. Has it like led to like building the life, you know? All the experience is important. All of it's valuable. But I feel like in certain areas, like it's really easy for time to pass, and then
you look back and you haven't moved.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like when I lived in Austin, the nickname for it was the Velvet Coffin, because people would get like really, like they would have a good time partying, but then, you know, they would be comfortable enough, or they would be, I don't want to say destitute, but like having a hard time.
Yes. Yeah, it's I was just talking about this to him yesterday, and he was like, we're all addicts out here. And I'm like, you need to chill out on that, bro. And he's like, we are. Everybody has FOMO. Everyone's afraid of missing out. And I'm like, that energy is very potent out here. I can't deny that.
I can see that, yeah.
Yeah, that energy is very potent, and you could see it. Like I was talking to another artist the other day, and he was telling me how it was back in the day, and he was like, we used to be rushing out here, like beating each other to spots and stuff, like trying to like claim our territory. Like, why? And I'm like, that still exists, and I don't know why, but when we had that conversation about FOMO, it gave some answer as to why. And I'm like, I think that's what it is. It's like people get like very addicted to it, you know? And it is, you know what I realized about this space too, while acknowledging that it is it's a very powerful place within itself, like underneath the people and the activity and stuff. I think that subconsciously everyone that settles here recognizes that, whether they acknowledge it or not. Like something in them, even if it's beyond their subconscious, if it's in like their unconscious or self, or like somewhere in their being, recognizes that and binds to it or finds themselves here. And so then we get here and it's like, I think a lot of people just feel what it does to you, and they just know that they like what it's doing. And maybe they don't know it up here in their brain, but something in their being, again, knows that it likes what it's doing. And so then you get to this point of like comfort where you don't want to let go. And you just kind of hold on to it and you just keep trying to make something work here. But it's like a kid isn't supposed to suck on their mom's nipple 24/7. You know, like you're supposed to get your milk and get on about your day, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like you get to it sounds crazy, but it's like you get to suck on the nipple again. That's what it's like being here. It's like you get to suck on the nipple again. And so many people that get led here by spirit, especially without even like cognitive preparation, when spirit directly leads you here, and when you come here in that way, you recognize who else has come here in that way. But when people get led here by spirit, you can tell, and a lot of them start to get addicted to that nipple, you know, because they need it. Like we all come here because we needed it.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's like I've been thinking about this a lot like the past 2 weeks. Because someone came to me with an opportunity for work. And then when we were like talking about it, he was like, yeah, I'm looking for someone to help dig me out of a hole.
Oh.
And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, well, you're already in the hole. You probably may not make the best decision.
Yeah.
And you may not be presenting yourself like truthfully.
Yes.
Because you're in the hole.
Yes.
And also like in a dating situation too, it's like acknowledging being thirsty.
Yes.
Because you can be thirsty in different kinds of areas in life.
Yes.
And it's like you're feeling a lack. How do you move into like a different stage or like a healthier stage when you already feel like you're operating at like a deficit somehow, even if that's like unrecognized?
Yeah, you have to be honest with yourself always. You have to have that commitment of honesty. And okay, like even with my partner, I met my partner in survival mode.
Yeah.
And we had to take a break because I told him, you know, I recognized that I was carrying a lot, like certain behaviors, and I wasn't representing myself. This is our literal conversation. I recognized that I wasn't representing myself in the best light, and I wasn't making decisions from the best part of my mind or the best part of my heart. And so I have some things to readdress, and I need to take some time to myself in order to understand that and understand the way that my life has shifted in the direction that I've chosen. And if I still agree with that, with the growth that I've done in this time, with the return of myself, I have to reevaluate whether or not I want to be here. And that is a hard conversation to have, because you have to like break a person's heart basically, and you have to tell them, I know it looks like we're sure, but I'm unsure, you know, and not even just doing that with them, but doing it with yourself. And it's like peeling your world apart to make sure that it's put together right, you know? That's hard. That's hard.
And also like it's a cool shirt. From being in like just any kind of partnership, when someone says that, you know, the other person could be chilling and feeling like you just finally got to like a good place. And then it's like, yo, is that person just like, because some people don't know how to stop.
Yes.
You know, it's like some people, and I get it, it's like a lot of people are wired for shit's going wrong all the time. So it's like they're not cool unless there's drama going on.
Yeah.
Or it's like recognizing in some people it's like they're not going to be like entertained or satisfied by the connection unless there's a certain kind of drama going on. And it's like, hey, like even if I recognize that same thing in me, like that's not what I'm wanting to participate in. And it's like you can't always have that conversation with people. So it's like I get both sides. If that even was a side, I was just bringing that up just because.
That's
But like But also it's like respect to the things for having honest conversations, the situations, and then also for people who work through stuff, you know, in any kind of friendship, partnership, relationship, because it's like nothing's gonna go perfect, and like the ability to like move through things, I think is like a great skill set.
I think even with like what you're talking about, the guy saying like I have to dig myself out of this hole, like there's so many things we have to learn as people about how to be accountable for ourselves and our situations and our change, and to even make the statement, I'm stuck in, what did he say? I'm stuck in a hole, or
I gotta dig myself out of this hole.
I'm looking for someone to dig me out of this hole. That's
a red flag. But also, like, you know, that was not at the beginning of the conversation. That was like, I'm looking at them, you know, in their eyes, and like it comes out later in the conversation, like, you know, it's a moment of like vulnerability. And like, I appreciate the honesty, you know, it's like, I think it's figuring out whether or not it's like a good match, you know, like, because people can come to you and like, I'm someone who's like typically like, yo, like if someone's coming to you in dire straits, sometimes the best thing to do is not help them.
Yes, that's the conversation I had this morning.
You know, I like helping people, you know, providing assistance. But I feel like a lot of those circumstances, it's like I'm the one who ends up on the losing side.
Yes, and you always will. I'm sorry not to say it like that, but you always will if you accept the responsibility of that role when it comes delivered in that way, because it goes back to my slogan, change roots within me. If you change the way that you speak about your life, then you changing the way that you speak about your life already redirects how people can approach your situation. If you come at people desperately and with expectation for someone else to be in the solution to what you want or what you need changed, then it's just, you're already disempowering yourself and you're limiting yourself because you're allowing somebody else to be your solution, you know. And there's another thin line, because oftentimes our solutions do require for the assistance or the collaboration of other people.
Absolutely.
That's not what I'm saying, is that that can't happen. What I'm saying is that your mind has to also equally be aware of your responsibility in it and know that it's not just on them, and that maybe they have the tangible resource and maybe they have something material or whatever in this worldly resource for you, but in your internal world, that dialogue has to be readjusted for that resource to even be compatible to make a fine solution for you, you know? And I've learned that, and I've seen that so many times. And you're so right about the idea of, and people come to you in a certain condition, sometimes the best thing for you to say is no. Because a lot of people said yes to me when I was moving desperately, and I've always gotten so much help from people. Like people just.
That's what I try to take into account too, because it's like sometimes you grow into things and you grow past expectations. Or at least I have.
Yeah.
You know, there's been plenty of times where people have taken chances on me.
Yeah.
And it's really helped.
Yeah.
Or like, they're not coming to me off rip, but like I have one or two friendships, but they're like the exception.
Yeah.
You know? But trying to have like the wherewithal to see like, is this the exception or is this like the rule?
Yes.
You know, like.
Yeah. Yeah. The one person that told me no, I really respect him. And I ended up getting mad at him for something else. But the only thing in our relationship that has like sustained a respect for him is the fact that he told me no, which
nice.
Which is crazy, but that was the most respectable thing he has done in our relationship. And I was so grateful for that. And even in the moment, like it wasn't even in hindsight where I was grateful for it. I was grateful for it in the moment because I'm like, that's right, like hold your boundary or whatever you see that I can't see, I trust it, you know? And like, if it was enough for you to say no without malice and I can feel that that's not there, then I respect it 100%. But other people, where I think that they messed up is they said yes to me knowing my potential, knowing what they've seen in my past, knowing what I'm capable of, but not seeing what I was actually doing in the moment. In the moment, I was caught in a loop, and that was because I wasn't trusting myself, but I was asking for their help, and so I was doing things backwards, and they were agreeing to let me do it backwards by helping me. And what we don't realize is when we offer that assistance, when someone hasn't positioned themselves properly or like done the preceding step in order to accept our assistance, then we help them get in their own way, you know?
Yeah.
And I had to learn that after a couple of cycles of that, you know?
Yeah.
But it's powerful to be able to say no and to be able to fix your dialogue first before you ask. Fix your internal dialogue first before you ask for something. I forgot how we got there, but...
Well, we're talking about loops, we're talking about exceptions versus rules and stuff like that. Talking about the experience I had with like an opportunity and the dude presented it at the end. It's like, hey, I'm trying to dig myself out of a hole.
Oh, yeah.
And then, you know, like I was talking about my own experiences too, and like trying to date and like also, you know, feeling like I encounter people who are coming from places, you know, where it's like initially things might be cool, but like then a layer down, it's like, oh, like there's something going on.
Yeah.
And with me, there's totally something going on.
Yeah.
So like, I don't expect people to show up perfect. You know, I just basically wait to see, you know, what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Like observe.
Yeah.
But my thing is also is like, I don't want to spend a bunch of time waiting to see how they're gonna show up. Because that requires a certain amount of energy that I may not want to put towards something. And like just being in a place where it's like, I'm pretty good, but also like certain things could fall through at any minute. So like I want to be looking ahead to make sure like I get ahead of any sort of drastic situations. Like I really wanted to interview you at the beginning of the year. I feel like this is good timing still. Like, because I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate your insight. Thanks for doing this. But like at the beginning, it's like I was getting geared up to like come out here and like talk to people, and I lost my job, and then I lost another job, like within 2 months, and I was like in a situation where I was getting ready to like lose where I lived, and without having like the network to sort of like long term have some place to stay, I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do? It all came together, and that helped me like reaffirm my trust in timing and trust that my world is taking care of me. But it like put a lot of things that I was actively working on in the back burner, and that's just timing. And it's cool timing, but at the same time, when you're trying to show up for other people or even like for a community in your life, you know, some things, it's good to have consistency. And it's interesting how like everything affects everything else. So I think really, like I'm answering my own question to a degree, it's like let go of the fear, because focusing on the fear isn't going to help with like the observation at all. It's going to be a projection that you're putting onto the situation that's clouding like the observation.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's a beautiful takeaway.
Thanks. Well, this has been super dope. Like, I feel like I could keep talking to you. Is there anything that you wanted to bring up or talk about specifically? Is there anything that you want to like throw in about your art?
Let me think about this for a second.
Okay, yeah.
I'll say no, because nothing came to me in that moment, and I don't want to force it. I think maybe my mind is just satisfied with all that was discussed.
Yeah.
And I really had a cool time talking.
Oh, dope. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the future, I'd love to have you back on.
Oh, cool.
If you're interested, of course.
I am.
Yeah.
I really like conversations that inspire me to consider like different perspectives, but also provide some type of stimulation. Like, there are many points in this conversation where I felt like I had to just sit and think about something that you offered, and that was really cool. I really like stuff like that. Yeah, thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for coming all the way out here too.
Oh, for sure, dude.
It's a lot. It's a lot to sit in, so I'm also inspired by your ability to just be calm and just be chill and continue forward with the conversation, because my mind is like looking everywhere, like what was that, and I'm used to it and I'm still looking everywhere, you know. Yeah. Thank you.
Tight. Where can people find you online or find your art online?
So I have a website now.
Okay, sick.
marjanistudio.com.
That sounds nice.
Yeah. Everyone, when I was younger, people used to say, oh, you should make a brand out of your name, Marjani. Marjani's my second name. And they're like, it sounds French. And I used to be like, you guys are so extra. And then as I got older, I'm like, I love Marjani. And so now I incorporate it. And I feel like I've changed my name so much, like, or I've given so many variations of my name. And now, like, I'm representing my name as it truly is. Kind of. There's a very slight twist, but you'll never know. But my name is Tiarrah Marjani. That was my birth name and is my birth name. And so now I'm representing it on the web, Tiarrah Marjani, or marjanistudio.com. And then I made a separate Instagram for my art now, which is marjanigallery.
It's all coming together.
And it's all coming together. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
International,
baby. I'm about to. I just got all my passport stuff done.
Oh, shit.
Finally, there were so many things that I needed to take care of.
Yeah, it took me a minute.
And yeah, international is the word.
It sounds international.
Yeah, we'll see wherever spirit leads me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wherever the adventure goes.
Yeah,
Good.
I'm here for it. Like, I wanted to be able to say, like, I'm gonna be in Venice for this amount of time, and then blah blah blah. But I'm like, spirit tells me when to move, and that's when I move.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like life talks to you all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that's where to find me. I think that's it. Yeah, I'm like, you won't find me on Facebook. You won't find me on nothing else.
Right.
And I made a website because I'm not so good with social media. And I'm like, I don't want to get caught up in all the riffraff, so go directly to me. That's like really why I made a website right now. Like, that is what I wanted to eventually do. But the reason why I made it right now was so that I can avoid social media when I want to.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that's why when I was like, hey, like, this is my number and stuff like that, because I keep my social media like on separate devices.
Okay, that's smart. I used to do that, but then I just be leaving the device and I would give it to people, and I'm like, oh. That's very smart though. I
have to manage it because it's like, I can get, time is important for me to manage.
Yeah.
I only have so much time to like work on my art because I got like a regular 9 to 5 and stuff like that, and I have like a house that I help run. So my time is valuable, and I can just get sucked in looking at people's art. It's super interesting.
Yeah.
Like Reddit is super interesting.
Yes. Oh my god.
YouTube addict. Like I'll just listen to YouTube all the time.
Yes.
So like I have to manage it for myself.
That Reddit is a big one.
Yeah, I can't be on my phone.
And then I just recently discovered Substack. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, that's another one. It's like I was looking to get into it.
Yeah.
I know that there's a paywall, but I also know there's really good stuff in there. There's probably a bunch of shit, just like anything. You got to dig for the good stuff. But yeah, there's some like, my impression of Substack is there's some very future forward ideas with people actively researching, and then they figured out that like, hey, like I can low-key monetize this, and then people will come and check it out. And I know there's free Substacks too.
Yeah.
But it just seems like if you want to get news, like you want to get info, that's a good place to look. Well, cool. I'm gonna call it.
Okay.
All right. Bet.
Thank you.